Today we're going to be building a garage organizer. And in my case, this is going to be for bicycles, scooters, skateboards, different footballs and soccer balls and that kind of thing. But really you could use this for anything that you might need to organize in your garage or carport. But for my situation, we need to get the toys up off the floor. So here's the frame that I just put together. All of it is treated lumber just because it's going to be on the concrete itself and out in the weather, so to speak. So here I'm cutting some supports for the different bikes and scooters and that kind of thing. Now we'll say once you cut all of these, I'm going to be cutting some angles on this in just a second. And so these are going to be connecting the top of the bike rack frame to the bottom of the frame. And so you'll see in just a minute what I'm talking about. But you need to figure out, if you want to take this project on yourself, what that angle is going to be, because every carport floor or garage floor is going to be a little bit different because of the way it slopes and slants for water runoff. And so I just had to figure out what that was going to be. And so you can just figure out in your situation what that angle is, cut the ends, and then we'll attach these to the frame of the bike rack. And so as I go, I'm going to put the first one down. I know where I'm going to end, but I'm going to attach the last one, to the end of this bike rack frame. And then I'll work my way back to the left-hand side of this rack. And so I'll put each scooter in there, figure out the spacing, put the next bicycle, figure out the spacing, pre-drill, and screw these supports into place. Very, very simple, and that part is done. Now, let's move on to the next part of this project, which is going to be a shelf. Now, the shelf is going to be right above the bike rack, and it's going to have some hooks along the way for helmets and that kind of thing, but also the shelf is for like different things they might use outside, like bubbles or sidewalk chalk and that kind of stuff. So I'm working with a couple of pieces of 1x6s. They're both treated. I cut off some square, slightly larger rectangles to be exact, and I cut those on a diagonal for supports for this thing. And I'll show you in just a minute the kind of trouble that I'm having with this shelf. And the reason is because I'm working with just construction grade lumber, and it's treated, and it kind of warps and bends as it goes on. But you'll see right here, I'm trying to get a bow out of this board, and so I push it down so I can screw it into the other piece. And so once I get it all together, it's just got a real bad bow in it. And to be honest with you, I should have just picked some better wood. But you can see the bow in this, but that's going to be okay. I positioned this and put it together so when I get ready, I can work that bow out when I attach it to the wall. But first I'm going to add some supports in. And I put this first screw in. You'll see some daylight between the support and the shelf right there. And so I'm just going to add a screw in there to bring it in and close that gap up. And so that did the trick. And so I'm going to do this all the way down. I think I've got like 5 supports in there. A few would have been sufficient, but I had the wood, so I just went ahead and put several in there. I'm going to pre-drill some holes. These are the holes that I'm going to drill through and into the wall, and this is what's going to hold the shelf up. So I went ahead and started a couple of screws into those holes so it would be easier for me to go ahead and hang this by myself. And so I'm kind of referencing off of the siding, so hopefully it'll be somewhat square or level. And so I'll start one screw, and then I'll move down and put in the other end. And when I do this, I can put a level on it to make sure that everything is level. And luckily, in this situation, it was level, and I didn't have to do anything else. So I can go ahead and finish putting the screws into the shelf. And here comes my little helper to make sure everything is going as planned. And so he's checking things out. They're just really excited to have something new to look at and to work with. I just recently did a video on organization inside. They really love all of that, having a place for everything. So hopefully that will carry out here to the outdoors. So let's add a couple or 3 or 4 hooks, to this shelf area. And like I said, this is what's going to be for them to hang their helmets and stuff on. I'm sure we'll add hooks here and there for different things, but this will get us started. So I just measure out, see what the center is between two supports, add a hook in, and that's it. It's pretty simple. So that's the shelf. That's pretty much all that is. And now I'm going to move on to the ball bin. And so with the ball bin, I'm going to take a few pieces of treated lumber and create a couple different frames. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. So these short pieces that I'm putting pocket holes in are going to connect a couple of longer pieces. And these are going to be my sides. And so with the pocket holes, I don't have to have any overlapping joints. I don't have to have any create half laps, or I don't have to have any overlapping face-to-face joints and that kind of thing. So with pocket holes, I can build it in this orientation, and it takes up less space. And so I'm going to do 2 of these and connect them with a couple, or actually 4 2x2s. And I'm just going to screw a couple of screws in from each end, and that's it. And so now I can take it outside, and I'm going to attach it to the bike rack itself and then into the wall. And so I'm just going to put in a couple of screws from the inside, and that should hold it. And then on the top side, I can run a couple of screws through the 2x2 and hold that to the wall. And that's it. And so it's secure, and now we can just add all the finishing touches. Okay, so here on the ball bin, we're going to add some bungee cords. And so I'm going to put some, I call them eye screws. The package says screw eyes. So either way you look at it, these are screws with an eye on the end of it to where you can hook something to it. All right, so quick tip, use an Allen wrench to install your screw eyes. So what I've done, I just grabbed an Allen wrench, I chucked it up into my drill, and once I've got those things started, I can just stick that Allen wrench in there, and it just drives it on in. Because I've got to do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these things, and so my fingers would be really tired. So that's a pretty good quick tip there. So I want to do something a little bit customized here, and I could not find any Z brackets. I could have ordered some, but I was ready to do this project and I didn't have time to wait on it. So I just made my own. So I got a couple of just regular shelf brackets, really small shelf brackets, and I'm just bending one end of it to create my own Z bracket. And so it's just a matter of hammering it out and getting it the way you want it. And for what I want to use it for, it's going to be just fine. So I'm going to screw about 3 of these onto the wall, and what my plan is, I'm going to hang a bucket on this. So my kids like to play wiffle ball in the backyard, and this bucket's going to hold all of the wiffle balls, and they can just grab the bucket off the wall and go, and then when they're done, they can put all the balls back in that bucket and put it back on the shelf or on the wall. So moving back to the ball bin, we're going to put some bungee cords in place so all the balls don't just roll out all over the carport floor. And this has worked out pretty good so far. Kids love it, and so I wanted to get some color in there, so that adds a little bit of flair to this project. And so we're just going to dress this thing up, load it up with all the toys and bikes and everything. The good thing about the bicycles, they don't need kickstands. These things stand up on their own. So I've got another little set of hooks down there for another skateboard that is soon to come that my middle boy thinks that he wants one too now. So that will be an area for another skateboard. And so we're hanging all the helmets up, got the bikes in place. And the good thing about the scooters is they will stand up on their own as well. If any of you guys own Razor scooters or anything like that, you know the struggle keeping them things standing up on the wall or something. They just are laying everywhere. So with this design, you just throw the scooter in the slot and it stands up on its own. So now we can load the ball bin up, and this is my kids' favorite part of the whole project is using this ball bin. They love the bungee cords and the ease of getting the balls out and all that stuff. So, and right next to the ball bin is the wiffle ball bucket and wiffle ball bat. And so this makes it really easy for my kids just to go out in the yard and play some wiffle ball. Okay, so we're done with the organization out here in the carport. Before, everything was just scattered all over the place, and so we had to walk around and tiptoe, make sure where we were going, we didn't trip over anything. So we've got a place for the bikes, the helmets, skateboards. We've got a bin over here with bungee cords for different soccer balls and basketballs and footballs and that kind of thing. And so it just looks a lot better, and then plus the kids can find it when they want to do something, and plus when they get done playing, they can put everything back because they know where everything goes, right? So thank you for watching the video. We really appreciate you watching and hanging around to the end. If you like what we're doing, consider subscribing to our channel if you're not already a subscriber. Check our website out at stoneandsons.net and sign up for our newsletter so you can stay in the loop with what we're doing. All right, guys, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Say bye.